Yeah. What's happening, y'all? This golfing face Tano. I'm playing. Most iconic, important psychedelic icon in the game. Today I'm gonna be unwrapping and reviewing Avenged Sevenfold's discography. It took me a while to acquire them all new over time and shit. You know, I got the idea, but it wasn't something I wanted to do so bad that I was about to just like go on Amazon and order all 7 of them at the same time or some shit. So, you know, I'd be checking out at Walmart and, you know, go through the $5 bin on some tweaker shit and pick up one at a time and shit. A bunch of them I owned, even on CD, whether when I was younger or even like... Honestly, I had Awaken the Fallen that the police took from me. There is allegedly something in it. But just to show y'all how hard I'm rocking with them, you know, I'm gonna shuffle the deck and put them in order, and y'all can go in the comments if I'm wrong. Go in the comments. So, Sound in the 7th Trumpet is first. After that, Waking the Fallen. Then, let's see, City of Evil, Self-Titled, Nightmare, Hail to the King, and The Stage. Alright, hell yeah, let's go. So, Sound in the 7th Trumpet. Yeah. I'm not gonna move that because, you know, damn. It's almost like, should I actually unwrap these? Yeah, it's good content. And damn, I got them wrapped up, but I want to definitely... Damn, I should have brought like a knife with me or some shit. Who remembers even doing this shit? Like, for real, like, this shit always used to be so jerk. But those were the days, right? You feel me? Damn, that $5 bin fucked this bitch up. I like this right here, real minimal. A little death bat, a little just, that's nice. I don't know if it's like a reissue at some point, I can't remember, but if it was always just that simple, they was going. It makes sense because it's only 2 colors, so you know, like the Hopeless Records or whatever at the time, that's probably, you know, the options they would have given a new band. They got some thank yous in there. I used to always remember reading the thank yous on their bands or the thank yous on their CDs, and like either getting hip to other bands off of it or just being like, oh damn, they fuck with them. It's crazy though, because this one's pretty short. Fucking, you know, the one that pops out probably fucking Atreyu, you know what I'm saying, because they were definitely a giant of that genre, so that's cool to see, you know, some type of that early on. You know, they were like the two metalcore bands that could really make hits, like make good songs, you feel me? Like, and I guess if you were to define the genre of metalcore, you know what I'm saying, they'd have the dun-dun-dun type riffs, like, you know what I'm saying, real like galloping, chugging, drop D riffs, and then, you know, always like melodic hooks, like screaming but with big hooks, there are definitely a lot of bands that was doing it that was considered metalcore, but like to me, they hooks would be like, just seems so like the producer label, like, man, we gotta give y'all like a big sounding hook, like, you know, and it was like, it was going at that age to me, you know, but as far as standing the test of time, I feel like Avenged Sevenfold and Atreyu definitely the giants. This just me talking. I might leave this long form content. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I might, you know, I'm gonna cut it down a little bit, but you know, I feel like y'all gonna get to know me a lot through this. But especially like I ain't even talked about the music yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm just unwrapping and talking about what comes to mind, because I think that's an aspect that I ain't never watched an unwrapping video or a mukbang or nothing like that, but just showing y'all that I actually bought these albums. And oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's right, they had a different bassist, Damon Ash. You know, I remember seeing an interview recently, like, what was it, Fact or Fiction or something, and they were talking about, like, yeah, he's a lawyer now type shit, and he fucking was selling his first bass. I saw that on Twitter, something like that. Unless, I know they had another bassist, but unless Johnny Christ used to go by Damon Ash or some shit and then change it to Don, and that's not the original bassist I'm thinking of. But they said that their original bassist a lawyer now, but it's like, and he's successful, but you feel me, he not, sure he don't got his bank account not looking like how Days is. They're talking about, yeah, we getting free tickets to like the last show, the last time we were in fucking Southern Cali. I don't know. Oh shit, see, that's what I'm talking about, long form content. Like, I'm just about to fucking, I still gotta talk about the music. And it'll probably trickle off. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. It'll trickle off toward them last two albums, but we'll get there. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I know the albums, you know, I know the music, but I can't say I've just lived so much life with the most recent two Avenged Sevenfold albums that I just have like limitless things to say about them. But like on these first couple, I swear. To end the rapture, that's, you know, that's how I start off and shit. That's That's actually, I'm pretty sure I used to read up on it when I was younger and shit, and I think that's the only song, or at least one of like 2 or 3 songs on this album that Sinister Gates actually played on. You know, pretty much besides that, they just had Zaki Vengeance covering the lead and shit, and you know, then they met Sin, and he was on some like jazz guitar shit. I think he went to like community college somewhere for jazz guitar or some shit. You feel me? They were like, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Any Avenged Sevenfold fan know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Zaki Vengeance can keep up. You know, of course, but he obviously, you know, he the rhythm guitarist, but you know, they both do that dueling shit. So it's like, at what point? But you know what I'm saying? It's definitely like, probably got a lot of knowledge off of Sin. But that's just that sound. That's the guitar sound I used to like as a kid. I used to always wonder what the fuck that was. Like, how he just, not even, I figured out what harmonies was, you know, like when Backcountry hit the radio, or just even the riff on Unholy Confessions, like, you feel me? But just his solo, it ain't no harmony on, well, maybe it is, but you know what I'm saying, on this To End a Rapture, the intro track to this, like, he just whamming it though, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, but it's just that sparkly kind of like operatic, you know, sound that you lead sound that we come to just know from Avenged Sevenfold. Other shit that's, I'm not gonna talk about every track of every album. This ain't no like Joe Rogan, Alex Jones shit. If you watched the last video though, shout out to the Alex Jones supplements. going strong. You know, you can see me out here. Fucking. Obviously, another standout track on here, Warmness of the Soul. That's the piano ballad, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the ballads used to go up with the screamo bands and the metalcore bands, because it's like, it would stand out so hard. And if they could, the few that could make a good one, you know what I'm saying, that was everybody's shit. Even with like A Day to Remember, you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of the songs blended together. But then, you know, especially on their project before they blew up, and then, you know, You Had Me at Hello. That's the one that always stood the test of time. Whereas like with whatever that album they made with the baseball bat and shit, that had like real strong singles, Plot to Bond, The Panhandle, Monument. You know, that one didn't even have a ballad on it. I guess maybe, you know what I'm saying. But their next album after that, I don't remember one song off the next one. But then they had If It Means a Lot to You. You feel me? So like, sometimes on a like album, you know what I'm saying, or sometimes on some of these albums, like, a lot of the shit blend together, but if you get a good ballad, that's the one that's people remembering forever. Like, but so they had Warmness of the Soul, and the crazy thing on that was like the piano playing, like, that was just like that boom 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 boom. Me and my homeboy used to always try to figure out how to play that shit. He got way closer than me. Bro could shred. I just want to see if it's saying here like who actually played the piano on that song. Okay, recorded in Hollywood, California. All lyrics written by Matt Shadows. I always thought that, but I'm just glad to know, like, you know, as far as standing the test of time, because that's why I fuck with them like that. I don't know, something about me, like, certain bands you find out, like, the singer ain't write the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I feel like that worked in the sense of the Grateful Dead, because, you know, Robert Hunter was such a... But it's just like... But then I hate to see, like, the ignorant, you know what I'm saying, kind of fans that kind of worship that culture, that just be like, you would see, like, a quote, you know what I'm saying, that Robert Hunter wrote, R.I.P., because I guess he just died, like, 5 days ago or something, but, like, it would just say, like, Ripple in Still Waters, Jerry Garcia, or, you know, Devil loan me 20 billion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Insert Grateful Dead lyric here and then attribute it to Jerry Garcia or some shit. Like, Jerry Garcia was high and playing guitar. Like, Robert Hunter was high too. He one of the only people really recorded, you know, on record talking about they took a thumbprint. You feel me? I'm not even going to elaborate on that if you don't know what a thumbprint is, but so he was out here, you know what I'm saying? That's why he's channeling all his trips just into that goddamn fucking lyrics or whatever. like fuck it. Like, but point being, I love a front man that write their own lyrics. That, to me personally, because as a front man and as a solo artist, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not taking lyrical suggestions from... Just feel like, you know, that shit, that's a big part of the music industry and shit like that. And, you know, if you know, motherfuckers rock with each other, like, you know what I'm saying? But some people be more open to... Point being, but, you know, like, Pete Wentz wrote all of Fall Out Boy lyrics, but Patrick Stump, the lead singer, you know what I'm saying? He had a good ass voice, I'm not gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? But Pete Wentz was the sicko behind those fucking, you know what I'm saying, them lyrics though, like, which Fall Out Boy, I guess, I mean, I I ain't just like, that ain't just like my shit. You feel me? But I hear like the effort of, you know, them lyrics. They had the quotables, as Cardi B would say. Like, you know, they had the IG captions before IG. You know what I'm saying? Like, bands that just like touch your soul. Like, I'd be fucked up if I found out Corey Taylor ain't write his lyrics. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure Avenged Sevenfold probably did some little group writing later on. I guess we gonna see. We can investigate this right now. But, you know, say on here Matt Shadows wrote all these lyrics. Let me just touch this track list one more time. Standout shit. Streets. The song Streets, track 12. That shit stand out just because it was like noticeably not all the rest of these songs. It had that like like Streets was that that real like Southern Cali like skater punk shit. And that's funny because it says all songs written by Matt Shadows except Streets written by Matt Shadows and Successful Failure. I don't know who that is, but that's probably some Southern California like punk band from that era or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, that's lit. What? Talking about some Sinister Gates appears on To End the Rapture. Damon Ash does not appear on Sound in the Seven Trumpet. So, bass playing by Justin Sane. Maybe that's the dude that was a lawyer now and fucking selling a bass or whatever. Either way, it's not Johnny Christ. Oh yeah, before I move on from this album, I also seen in an interview, they said the Rev one took this whole album and he wanted to like really be able to say that he did it. So he was like getting drunk and shit. Like, they recorded the album exactly in order, so they're saying like, you know, he was holding it down a little. I mean, that he did it for what this album is, with no click track, no nothing, like such a free form kind of abstract like version of songwriting, you know. They say he did the first songs, you know what I'm saying? They recorded this album for dirt cheap for real, and then by the time they got to the middle of the album, he'd been one taking everything. He started getting real cocky about it. But so he started coming to the studio like just a little like more lit up and shit. And he probably do a more like vibier, you know, kind of groovy version, you know, because he was feeling himself. But like, you know, maybe to some people's ears like a little sloppier by his standard. But, you know, I don't know what that even mean, talking about the Rev being sloppy and shit, because yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, let's move on. Oh, but yeah, I mean the rest of the album though, fuck it, we long form content. The rest of the album though, it's just like, you feel me, like I was saying, it's like a little bit looser, like you don't really see. And maybe they ain't have the producer that they had then, but like you don't really see the fucking shit you see for on like Waking the Fallen and the later albums, like the real structure. Like this shit is like some real freestyle. Like you could feel like the live performance smell of like stale beer venues, like just like kind of freestyle, a lot of chugging riffs. You know, they ain't have Sinister Gates on most of the songs, so you don't hear a lot of those high pitch leads and shit. You hear a lot of more just like a lot of punk influence. You know the mosh pit was going. Some of my favorite Matt Shadows, because you remember we only get 2 screaming Matt Shadows records. You feel me? And like, just even with the way I scream now, like I feel like I probably scream like this fool because they talking about he fucked his voice up. That was one of the big things when they came with City of Evil. Because he wasn't using no proper technique. I feel like I probably don't use no proper technique. Like, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? You could just hear him going for it, though, on some punk shit, on some turn shit. But alright, we finna move to Waking the Fallen. I'm gonna save this shit in pieces and cut it up. Alright, we back at it. We back in the game. This is the Ghostface Money Watch. the most important psychedelic figure of the 21st century. We unwrapping and reviewing Avenged Sevenfold's discography, one of the greatest bands of all time. R.I.P. the Rev. Okay. Monstrous. Giant record. Classic sleeve. Classic everything. Just fucking one of the greatest metal records of all time. I don't speak passionately like that, about just anything. Like, this is really, really a big record. Funny story while I unwrap it. It's Avenged Sevenfold, Waking the Fallen. Funny story while I unwrap it though. Like I said, classic cover. This is what the cover is shown as on all fuck is that shit called? Like streaming and shit. This is the cover, like the black with the death bat. But the actual jewel case has a different image. And so my story is, this is the first A7X record I ever bought. It's not the first I ever kept. Sound the 7 Trumpet was the first one I ever got to keep. That's crazy to think that Sounding the 7 Trumpet used to be in Target. Oh wait, I guess it's not that crazy because I'm pretty sure that copy, I know for a fact that copy I just got was in the Walmart $5 bin. So I don't know how Hopeless Records was jugging that shit. I know it was a different era, but still to this day, it's crazy how Avenged Sevenfold just crossed over into being such a goddamn like American ass country band or some shit. Like like you could just count on them at Walmart, like right next to the goddamn fucking like Tim McGraw or some shit. What's that for? The Luke Combs, like fucking look at the font. They had the IG Goth font. Like, come on now. Stop playing with Avenged Sevenfold and this shit. Oh, but what I was saying, and again, just as crazy as it being on Walmart and shit, like this shit was in Madden. They had a version of Chapter 4 on Madden 04. Classic, with the Mike Vick cover. Had the Blink-182 Feeling This or whatever that shit's called. Just great time to be alive. So yeah, I love that song. You know what I'm saying? I used to play Madden 04. That was my shit on the PS2. And just for some reason, that song just stood out to me. There was also like, I guess the 3 songs that really stood out to me, in that kind of gothic genre was like AFI, the Leaving Song Part 2. I'll come on. But Blink-182, like that song went crazy too. Like, but I can't even cap. Damn, I'm gonna be telling so many fucking stories. This shit crazy. I don't even know if the YouTube account I post this on, I don't even know if I have these privileges. I know I could post like some extent of long form content. You know what I'm saying? I know they're fucking with me enough to post like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't holding me to like less than 20 minutes or nothing, but I don't know what they be talking about with like the couple hours shit. Like, I don't know if I gotta be Joe Rogan or some shit. But yeah, so now that I got Avenged Sevenfold and Blink-182 in the same sentence, I feel like I gotta pause that story and fucking. One of the things that was crazy to me was like when I was like 16, Avenged Sevenfold had always been like one of my favorite band. Like, you'll hear probably plenty stories of how much I love them, like, you know what I'm saying, throughout the course of this. But something that kind of was crazy to me, like at some point, I remember when that fool MGK was coming up, I guess he had like met them, you know what I'm saying, and they did the intro. He had Matt Shadows and Sinister Gates on like the intro of like his first album or whatever, like his first like Bad Boy record, you know, but he got the death bat tattoo right there, you know what I'm saying, like big as fuck. He got a death bat, like, and I remember seeing that and being like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying, I ain't never like had that conversation with him, you know what I'm saying, like about Avenged Sevenfold back when he used to like come fucking he would come like pick me up and shit when I was like 16 type shit and bring me to the studio like when he was like 19, like right when he was blowing up. But so I just feel like when I was in that 16-year-old phase of my life, like I probably, like, you know what I'm saying, that shit would have came up, you know what I'm saying. So I always remember being, you know what I'm saying, like intrigued when but he probably just seen that shit and fucked with it, you know what I'm saying, and fucked with them as people, like. But I remember being like, that's my favorite band, like. But I say that to say, like, what's not cap though, you know, I'm not even saying that's cap, but I will say this because some people might want to know this. MGK has always called Blink-182 his favorite band. So I don't know that. All I was saying is like, I don't, you know, I never talked to him about Avenged Sevenfold. I don't know how much he like fucked with them before meeting them and getting that tattoo or not. Regard, you know, it's a hard ass logo, like shit, like, but I feel like there's probably a lot of speculation with like the type of sound he be doing right now, or at least kind of trying to do, mixed with like, and then I guess kind of combined with like, I guess sort of him being like, I feel like there's like something in the wave of like, you know, fucking tap into like the emo resurgence wave, you know what I'm saying? He got Travis Barker on that song. He got like that, you know, everybody know that's like an industry version of whatever it even is influenced by anyway, but like, I ain't even trying to speak on, you know, nothing like that, but I just had to say, because it is true, like, what year was that? That had to be like 2009, fool, like 2009 or early 2010. Like, that fool was 19, I was 16, I asked him his favorite band, and he said Blink-182 is his favorite band, period, point blank. And we actually had a song, like, that never got, like, made or never just fully, I never got from, so we had a couple, like, for real, but there was one that he had, like, conceptualized, like, in his head or whatever that I was trying to make the beat for, like, something about like the girl next door or something, and he was really like singing like in that pop punk like type of shit, which I thought was like kind of off, like I thought that was kind of like weird at the time, like, you know what I'm saying, like obviously that shit would be regular now, like, but you know, I was just trying to produce MGK that would be like like, you know, whatever. but nah, like he was really coming with those pop punk type melodies and shit. So I don't know, that's just kind of funny. But anyway, fucking Avenged Sevenfold. So they had the song I'm Mad, and that shit stood out like fucking. So I wanted the CD, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it was kind of still in that era, like. There had to be like some level of maybe parental approval and like my fucking CD acquisition, like not, you know, not entirely. It's not like it was parental advisory, like I couldn't go get it myself, but like, you know, so I got the shit, and fucking I almost like had a heart attack when I seen this shit, like. And honestly, to this day, like, this shit is not no, like, regular shit, like, I don't know what type of vibe that is. That shit is creepy. But it wasn't because I was scared of the image. It was because it triggered some type of crazy, like, deja vu in me to where I was, like, I thought at the time I had seen it in a dream or a nightmare. Maybe I had, but, like, I think it also maybe like knowing what I know now had some even greater significance into like, you know what I'm saying, my life path. It might have just been like an overwhelming sense of deja vu at an early age where I didn't know where that was. But I remember being scared. I remember being scared, like I did something wrong. I remember feeling like a sinner, like when I looked at this, I was like, oh shit, like I'm doing myself to hell, like, and so yeah, no, I got this shit, and I already like wanted to like almost cry and take it back to the store or some shit because I felt like I did something wrong, like, and then this sounds so stupid, like I'm fucking like but it was like the version of chapter 4 that they had on Madden was it was edited, and it was just like something like I'm coming to tell you, won't leave until you try, or something like. Then I heard this shit and it was like, I'm coming to kill you, won't leave until you die. I was just like, oh shit, like this shit's crazy, like I don't know about it. And then like I don't know, I can't remember if I like hid the album for myself or like exchanged it. And it's funny because like, you know, there was like a record exchange store up by me that I got it from, and I feel like whatever I exchange it for, I feel like I exchange it for like fucking like a edited version of like Ludacris Red Light District or some shit. Like it was like something that like you would think would be more. I was obviously like 11 years old, so they wouldn't give me like the explicit version. But like I exchanged it. This shit creeped me out. I ain't even gonna hold you, but like it was my favorite shit at the same time. Like Waking to Falling, that intro crazy. That intro like got that creepy like, and I be hearing a lot of shit now. I don't really like hearing the auto tune on it, but like this was almost fuck around before T-Pain, honestly. Like so it was like that shit was like disguised, especially in this type of music. But it definitely sounded cool as fuck. I remember thinking it sounded like the way they had that shit sounded. Into Unholy Confessions, you know what I'm saying? That's like the first metal riff that motherfuckers be trying to learn on guitar, but like, you know, not. I mean, I guess technically the first song I ever tried to learn on guitar was Metallica, but and yeah, people be learning like classic rock riffs like Smoke on the Water, Iron Man type shit, but far as when you discover metal, you're not gonna learn no Slipknot song on guitar. How could you? You know what I'm saying? You barely understand how a guitar work at that age, and they talking about you gotta tune this shit down to fucking nothing. Like your strings gonna be warbling, like, and if you don't have just like the fucking big ass amp to like, you know what I'm saying, make that shit make noise with like some crazy pickups and shit, like hell no. But this shit you just had to go to drop D, and like I still never could like. Let me see if I can go to drop D right now, like, and play that shit. But I didn't understand. It had like a little, like it was like what do they call that? Like going back up to like the main. Close enough. That shit was like. Wait. See, I be playing the way I would play if I was still in E, but. I don't remember where it go, but yeah, that shit crazy. But I could do it now because you know I'm tapped in. But at that age, I was like, "What do you mean? I gotta keep rolling on that D string or whatever." But that shit crazy. But that shit was an epic, legendary riff. I feel like everybody like knew that riff. And And I remember that video was crazy too, like, cause and again, in retrospect, I don't watch that video recently. It's like, man, they had a cult fan base, cause like, I just couldn't imagine how they were so big, like, before City of Evil, though. You know what I'm saying? They was on Madden. I guess it's just that Cali shit, like, they was tapped in with that punk scene that was just thriving out there, but like, you know what I'm saying? They was in. I remember seeing a fucking commercial for that album for Waking the Fallen in Target, like, it was on Madden in Target. And then you go watch the Waking the Fallen, the Unholy Confessions video, and everybody got deathbat tats. Like, you feel me? It's like, and their show was packed. I mean, fuck around, it might have been opening for someone, but still, there was so many motherfucking deathbat tats in that motherfucker. Like, it's like, damn, like, you know, but they touch people, they made people feel that way, so I feel it. You know, but that song, you know what I'm saying, obviously everybody, I ain't even gonna speak on that song, because it would just be like, duh, like, Chapter 4, you know, I talked about that, Reminiscence, got that crazy Spanish guitar, that crazy melodic part, you know, because they was still had that heavy screaming. The later parts were the ones I can never remember, like, between, like, the hooks, the melodic parts between Desecrate Through Reverence, Radiant Eclipse, and Clairvoyant Disease. I remember like, you know, but them names all kind of trip me up. But Eternal Rest has that crazy guitar intro. Call tonight. Second Heartbeat, that was like the other, like, kind of emo love song on there. And I remember just reading along with those lyrics when I go through like a fucking middle school breakup or some shit. Like, fucking Radiant Eclipse, that, I mean, I do remember that one has that, like, epic, like, kind of long, high-pitched intro. Down, 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 down. I Won't See You Tonight Part 1 and 2, like, back to the piano shit. That shit used to boggle motherfuckers. Like, who is playing piano on these tracks? Like, I used to want to be able to get a good piano sound so bad back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like piano sounded epic. Piano and fucking church bells. Like, when a metal breakdown would just have a fat, like, church bell on the doom. Like, I used to always, and you know what I'm saying, I was like looking up Pro Tools and synthesizers as fucking 11-year-old. Like, I wanted to know about all that shit, but all I had was GarageBand and I ain't had no money, so it was just like, oh no, it's easier for kids nowadays. They could just fucking grab the fuck out of whatever they need. I probably could have back then, but I don't know. I don't really think. It was at like 2005. Like, I don't really know if like torrenting Pro Tools like 7 on a fucking first Pro Tools I ever had was 8. Then I upgraded to 10, and I ain't never looked back. I don't want any Pro Tools other than 10. My Waves plugins are gonna stop working. Like, I ain't dealing with none of that bullshit. Yeah, I Won't See You Tonight Part 1 had that crazy epic piano and just beautiful song. Going into I Won't See You Tonight Part 2 is arguably one of the most aggressive. Like, it's got them noise samples in there and shit. Like, oh no. The last two, Clairvoyant Disease and All Things Will End, just beautiful. Like, they all have like those epic, like, clear disease I try to fight through my pores it seemed to cease when I bleed forever so acknowledge right just where I'm wrong. This spot in hell's where I belong. Oh no, that shit crazy. I've got so far, it's been so long. Shit crazy. But yeah, Waking the Fall. Oh, I ain't all the way on rap. Let me do that real quick. I might have to put these videos up in like fucking installments. Lyrics. I remember this picture. I had this picture hanging up in my room till someone ripped it down. But I remember just seeing like the black nail polish stood out. I remember my dad was sick at me the first time I colored my nails black with Sharpie. And but it can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first time I seen that shit. The Jack Daniels shirt, the AFI shirt. They was paying respects. This one has some more interesting thank yous. Like, let me see. Oh yeah, because the first one was Mushroom Head. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Cleveland, like, so like that shit was crazy to me. I was like, I wonder what that relationship even was. Like, you know, they was the band besides Slipknot, arguably before Slipknot, or just arguably ignorant of Slipknot, while they was both on the simultaneous come up, one in Iowa, one in Ohio, again, that wore masks and shit. Atreyu again. I don't know, pretty much the same ones besides that, you know, Thrice, From Autumn to Ashes, Strung Out. Oh yeah, that's the name of the producer dude on, like, I think that if I had to guess, he started on this album and kept working with them. That fool Mud Rock. I feel like I've seen that name on a bunch of big records. Produced by Mud Rock. Recorded by the Gatekeepers. You know, they had a lot of engineers on this shit for sure. They had orchestral arrangements. Sin on the piano. Piano played by Sinister Gates, but why couldn't I find out who it was on here though? I remember feeling like it wasn't Sinister Gates on Sound of the Seven Trumpet, like it was fuck around, like it was Matt Shadows or someone. Let's see, lyrics, acoustic guitars and keyboard. Yeah, acoustic guitars and keyboards played by Matt Shadows. I wonder if that means piano. I wonder if keyboards means piano, because yeah, this shit probably did have some little like background fake orchestral shit on it. But yeah, fucking Waking the Fallen, classic, one of the best albums of all time.